Game Over 86 coming back with another video, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about Project Scarlett, what Phil Spencer has said. He's came out and stated, I think a lot of people were anticipating something different, but he has came out and confirmed that Xbox Scarlett is just one console, he states, is in the process for the next gen, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of people were talking about, well, when they came out with Xbox All Digital Edition, Xbox SAD, or whatever you want to call it, a lot of people were thinking with the next gen coming in 2020 possibly that they would be announcing possibly just an all-service discless box as well that would be playing, you know, Xbox 2 games or backwards compatibility, obviously through a cloud generation or generating internet. And I think they realized with Google Stadia, because they didn't talk a whole lot about the cloud during E3. In fact, they didn't really talk about it at all. They just talked a lot about Game Pass. And this is what one thing that I wanted to get really into was, like I said, a lot of people think that they were going to be making multiple consoles. I honestly thought that they should not go that route, especially when they're trying to do their service, their Game Pass, their xCloud. I think they just need to focus on one console since a lot of their services are going to PC, possible Switch, maybe still, maybe even PlayStation. You never know how these things are, but we know a lot of them are wanting to go to phones, tablets, TVs, especially with the xCloud. So when I was reading up on this, and I was reading Phil Spencer and what he stated, and a lot of people, you know, were hoping that there was going to be like a really powerful Xbox and then a lower budget, kind of like the Xbox One S and then the Xbox One X. And then they were, you know, a lot of people were still speculating that there was going to be a discless Xbox as well, but the sales haven't came out because you know how Xbox is with their sales, and they really don't talk about it. So we really don't know what the Xbox One S All Digital Edition has sold so far. I'm sure it's probably not that good, but that's just me giving my opinion. And maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm right. You know, maybe they looked at it and said, okay, it's not what fans want. And there are a lot of diehard Xbox fans out there. There's a lot of people that like console gaming. There's a lot of people that have disposable income and they don't mind buying every console, buying a PC, and doing, you know, the whole thing, the way they want to game. Buy certain games on certain platforms, even though them games can run on PC. I understand that there is a diehard community, gaming fan base for the console version of the Xbox. Now, going forward, thinking about how, you know, this has all came about, a lot of people are forgetting that the Xbox probably ain't going to be, you know, as big as a heavy hitter as what it used to be in the past, especially with Game Pass going to other platforms like PC first, and games coming to that service, you know, pretty much for $9.99 or the Ultimate. You can get live and Game Pass, and I think it works on your console and your PC, and it's $14.99. So a lot of people were probably thinking that, hey, you know, maybe in Microsoft's division, maybe Phil Spencer and his team were sitting back saying, you know what? Maybe we need to puff the brakes on all these consoles. Let's focus on one console since our product, you know, and I'm just going to be blunt. If you can get Game Pass on a TV, a phone, a tablet that's cheaper than your Xbox, and it run off the cloud or your internet that's running it just fine, or even the Switch or possibly PlayStation 4 or even your PC, why would you buy a console? So, and I'm not dogging the people that are going to buy the console. I'm just stating a fact. Like, why make multiple consoles when this service is possibly going to be available on multiple platforms? So it just makes a business standpoint for Microsoft, I think, to focus on one console, make it the powerfulest one you want. Obviously, that I'm pretty much, you know, guarantee from what they've stated in spec-wise that they are going to release that. But when I looked at some of this stuff, they were talking about, you know, rumors speculating that they were going to be talking about how, you know, Game Pass and xCloud is going to be changing, and possible PlayStation when they partnered up with that streaming cloud service to probably go head-to-head with Google Stadia and other companies that are eventually going to be doing it. And it's just weird. But he says, and I quote, last year we said consoles, and he said we've shipped a console, and we have now detailed another console. And he says, I think that's plural, Spencer said, which is funny right there. Duh. He also stressed that they were focused on Project Scarlett and what they put on stage. He said, so if you worried that Project Scarlett would be, or would be as complicated as a family of Xbox One consoles, standard S and X, like I said earlier, and even the all-digital box. He said, put them worries to bed for now. Yes, both rumors and Spencer are referring to the Xbox One S all-digital for now. But Microsoft is just working on one flagship next-gen console, which I think is smart. And it says, beyond the single Scarlett system, Microsoft is also working to build one cohesive Xbox library. Project Scarlett backwards compatibility, which, yes, we do know, next-gen hardware for the Xbox 2, Xbox Scarlett, will be playing all Xbox One games going forward. And then it also says, according to the Xbox Scarlett launch date, it says this will kick off in holiday 2020. And I think, like, a lot of people forget, that it's not about consoles. And I think people are starting to understand that even in the gaming business, they've understood it. And there's limitations on hardware and specs that you can put in a box. The more stuff you put in, the harder it runs, the more frames, the more graphics, the harder it runs, the cooler it has to be. And I know there's technology advancing, and every year there's new stuff evolving. But eventually, it's going to get to the point where you're going to have to be running all these cards and chips, and yet you're going to have, a fan cooling it off? I understand that there's techniques that they use, and I understand that they will use different techniques. But, focusing on one console and then focus on the games for that console, whether it be exclusively for that console for a timed period, like a timed exclusive, or if it's going to be on multi-plat like PC, handheld, Switch, cell phone, laptop, you name it. I honestly think that they should just stick with one console, because it may not sell well depending on how Game Pass is on PC or how it is on other devices. That's what people are going to want to spend, it looks like, going forward. If you're paying $9.99 a month or $14.99 a month and you get all these games day one and you ain't got to spend $60 for it, or you don't have to fork over the cash $30-$40 for a budget title or even a big time, major third party that comes to the company or that comes to Xbox to allow you to play it off Game Pass, it does make sense, especially if you spend only, let's say, $150 a month or a year, or, $120 a year for the unlimited or whatever, the ultimate Game Pass, let's say. I understand the prices will be different, but that's two games, two $60 full third-party budget titles. Or, I said budget, but full third-party huge titles, like a Red Dead Redemption 2 and a God of War in a way. So you're getting a good refund back. And a lot of people that are on PC, obviously, they don't have physical media. They all do digital or download them and all that. So I think this is going to go over well. Now, as far as selling Xboxes, I understand there's going to be a lot of Xbox fans out there. The fanboys are the only ones that care about NPD sales. Same with Sony fans and Nintendo fanboys. They're all fanboys. Anybody that keeps stating NPD sales or who's selling the most, they're just fanboys trying to parade around like it matters. When I just want to lay the facts down, there's more people on PC right now to this day, every single day, than there are than entire consoles combined. And I know a lot of people may say, you're out of your mind, Game Over 86. No, I'm not. I'm telling you the facts. That is 100% real. There are more people on PC per day and own and game on PC than all of consoles combined. That is why Sony's president came out and said console gaming is a niche market, because not everybody console games. I understand there are a lot of people that buy consoles, but when you think of 100 million consoles that are sold for the PlayStation 4, let's say 40 million consoles that are sold for the Xbox One, and we're 35 million in the Switch. That's 175 million. You know how many people game on cell phones right now? And I understand people will be like, well, that's a cell phone. The point is not everybody buys consoles. So for them to focus on a console and see how it sells, they got to come out with some heavy games, some heavy exclusives to really push the console. Then, like I said, there are going to be diehard fans that buy it no matter what. There are going to be people out there that are going to buy this console. We already know it's going to sell. But how well will it compare to the PlayStation 5, the Switch Pro, the Switch Mini, whatever they're going to be doing with Nintendo? Other streaming services like Google Stadia. Ubisoft, I think, is wanting to get in kind of the mix with that stuff too, with Google Stadia. So there's a lot of stuff going on and speculating with how all these consoles of next gen and everything's going to, be on par with everything else. We all know Sony's going to come with their exclusives. We all know that that's going to be exclusively on the PlayStation, so that's a reason to buy it for a lot of fans out there. I know a lot of people hate exclusives. They think it should be on every platform. I get it. I understand your argument on that as well. But, you know, in business, that's how it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm just stating I'll use it as an example. If a company makes a cell phone, like an iPhone, with a special app that's directly for them that they made themselves, why would they put it on other phones so that you can have a great feature on another phone and not buy their phone? I get it. I understand a lot of people will argue, put the games on everything, and then the actual console is supposed to have a specific piece of hardware or something that comes with it that makes it unique in its own right to where you have to buy that for that feature. And I see a lot of that, and I can name one, the PlayStation VR. I know a lot of people may disagree with, but that's something that's niche, and it's growing, but it's unique to the market. And I know a lot of other people like Quest and Oculus Rift and all this other stuff are you know, that are out, Vive and all this other stuff. But if you think about the constant base, who's the leading VR sales? Yes, it's the PlayStation. Yes, they have some VR exclusives, but a lot of them exclusives you can play on the PC, or you can stream it through an app and a way to hook up your VR through there, or use the Move controllers on a Vive. I mean, it's getting to be bigger. And I'm not trying to jump off page. I'm just saying Xbox has to come with something. And to focus on one console, that narrows it all out, going, oh, we don't have to get a cheap console. We don't have to go, or a low budget, or a lower power console, or an all digital. Just focus on getting the best console you can make for your fans, for your consumers that you know are loyal, diehard, consuming console fans out there that want to purchase this console, that want to be dedicated, and want to only play on that platform. And then bring some games exclusively, whether it be timed or at least to them, to where they feel like their money that they're spending, whether it be $400, $500, $600 for this console, whatever it will be, and all the controllers and all the other stuff that they're paying you for, let them know that, you know what, your money is worth the value to us to make these games for you. Now, as far as it being, like I said, exclusives and jumping to another platform or to a PC, like a lot of people say, oh, well, why would I buy an Xbox? I got a PC that's a high... Not everybody has a high-power gaming PC. Not everybody likes the PC game. I get it. Not everybody likes to have updates and do all the extra stuff and features and have to worry about a keyboard, monitors, and speakers and lights and all this other stuff. I get it. It's a simple hookup. I want to come home, play for 30 minutes after a long day's hard work. I don't want to have to boot up my PC, let it sit there for a little bit, have to run these games. I just want to hook up, play a controller, and I respect that. I understand that 110%. So I believe that is why they're going to stick with one console. And that was what the topic of the story is. And that's why I think, personally, they are going to go with one console, is to focus on that, to where they're not getting sidetracked on making this console, this console, this console, this console. I've always said Microsoft does best software. That's what they're known for. Sony's best for hardware. That's what they're known for. Now, I'm not saying Sony can do whatever they want. What I'm saying is Microsoft focus on one console. Put great games on that console, on your PC, Game Pass, however you want to do it, and you will sell stuff not only on the console, because people will feel like you are dedicating your heart and soul to them consumers, them diehard fans that have spent money, knowing that they're going to get something in return, not giving us piss poor quality or half-ass finished games or budget titles to where they feel like these companies you're adding aren't going to produce something great that they can remember, like Sony did with certain games that are new to this generation, like Horizon Zero Dawn, Bloodborne. I think Microsoft going forward is going to have, obviously, their Gears 5, they're going to have Halo, and they're going to have a Fable game. But I think that they need to come up with a couple exclusive console games, like a Horizon Zero Dawn and like a Bloodborne, in my opinion, and make them console exclusives. I understand people will say, well, I don't give a shit because I own all. So to me, I understand PC players will be like, well, that's not fair. I want to play on my PC. Okay, I get it. I'm not here to debate that video. This is for a different time. But they have to do this to stay alive. Otherwise, they're going to be a streaming service in 4 or 5 years after the launch. They'll have always a console, but eventually people will say, you know what? Why am I spending $500? And a lot of people will state, hey, PC, and I want to end it with this. All the games that will be coming to Xbox 2, I can run right now on my PC. I have a big enough, strong enough, powerful enough PC on here. I don't have to upgrade anything. Now, in the future, maybe 5 years after launch, 6 years after launch, I may have to upgrade something. Maybe a graphics card, maybe some RAM. I doubt the RAM. I have 36 gig of RAM, but something. And I get that. And people may smarten up, or they may say, you know what? Why am I spending $500 on an Xbox when I just spent $500 on an X, and $300 or $400 on an S, or $500 on the original, and a $400 PlayStation 4 Pro, or a $300 Switch? They may just realize and say, you know what? I'm just going to spend all that money on a PC, have every game that I want on here, download ROM hacks, whatever you want to do, and just play it there without having to spend the extra money. And that's what I think Microsoft doesn't want to do by making multiple consoles, because that's going to get, yes, I know variety and options are best, but when you flood the market with consoles at the first launch, it throws a lot of people off to where they're like, okay, if these games are still going to play on a cheaper console, why buy an expensive console like a Scarlett 500, and let's say they made like a smaller version or a less superior version of it for $300? Why would anybody give them $400 for that console when they could play the same games on a $300 console and all their backwards Xbox One games? It just makes sense to make one console, and that keeps the consumers to where they have to buy that console and that console only, rather than go, oh, well, why spend $500 on it? I can just spend $300 on it, and or I already got a PC. I mean, you don't want to deteriorate away from the consumers, the fans that are going to be like, should I buy it or not? So if you only have one console, it's either buy that, play it on PC. And I think giving them that leeway, because a company has to succeed, companies have to thrive, otherwise they just quit making consoles like Sega. So I can see that going in the future, and I'm sorry that the video is long. I do have another video coming up in a day or two, so stay tuned for that. It's kind of a big update. I hope you guys respect what I'm going to say in that video. It's big news, but have no fear. That video will come up. Note that I'm going to be, obviously, I'm going to be taking a break is what I'm going to be saying in that video. I'll explain more in that video, guys. And if you are new to this channel, like I said, I'm sorry that the video is long. I'm in a house with no central air. It went out. I apologize for that. I'm sweating like a wet dog in here, honestly. But I have another video that I want to let you guys know that I am taking a break from YouTube for reasons that I will explain in that video, because I am honest. I base my channel around being honest, loyal, good morals, and being an unbiased channel. So I want you guys, if you can, tune into that channel. Make sure you guys support that channel to let everybody know. I will keep and give it detailed what I'm going to do. I have to get a lot of other things in line, so I want to let you guys know that. So stay tuned for that video. If you're new, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And I understand I am going to be taking a break, but note that I will be back. And I will be making a video explaining all that in the next day. So anyway, hit the share button, hit the like if you like this video, and let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the Xbox One console, Xbox Scarlett, I should say, 2, Xbox 2 console, whatever you want to call it. Let me know what you guys think. Is it smart? Go one console rather than give them too many variety to where people are like, I don't even want to buy it, or people will buy just the cheaper version. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I will see you guys on the next video. I love you very much. Very important video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.